Yeah, it doesn't seem to be going in very far.
No, I don't terribly know how successful these are going to be.
Yep, it's okay.
Jess, you're having to gauge resistance based on visual cues alone, is that right?
Yeah, and also if there's any deflection in the core. But we can see that we're moving the vehicle.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try pulling it out.
We need to pick up another 50 pounds of rocks before we can try that.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh,
Aw.
no.
man.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, we tried.
Yeah.
Can't say we didn't try. Would you like a scoop here instead? Go ahead, Jake, and switch her over.
No, I don't think that's necessary. We got manganese nodules on the last dive. So not necessarily a high priority for this dive.
Sure thing.
Maybe we find another spot that's coreable.
I was wondering if these fields are there like eddy spots that you could look for where it would be a little bit deeper?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, I think that this is wondering if deeper spots, if you can predict deeper spots based on if there's an eddy behind a feature.
I don't know. The challenge here is that, you know, we have only such resolution with the multi-beam data we have, right? So we're not seeing lots of individual features to know where to predict where there might be these relatively flat spots with a depression where sediment can build up over time and also be calm enough for manganese nodule formation, but not enough, you know, not so much sediment pouring down that it's going to bury the nodules. And so we can maybe predict that there will be some on these flatter parts of the ridges.
Great, thank you.
But actually where they'll be, we don't really know because that's the resolution we have of the, as you can see on the HYPACK map.
All right.
Would you like to keep moving in that 220 direction?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
All right. Quality again.
And while we backtrack over where we are, I'm going to let Steve take over leading this because I need to step out of the van for a minute.
Let's find some corals. Joking.
If you're just tuning in, we are here on the Aheo Seamount, exploring the north side today, following a ridge up, and we're currently around 2,200 meters deep. We got a little preview of this area earlier. We backtracked and now we're retracing our steps. I'm really just interested in characterizing the biological and geological region here.
All right, did I miss anything cool?
Took 3 push cores.
Started moving.
Yeah, ship started. Argus will be moving shortly.
I'm impressed at the verticality of the terrain here. I expected it to be quite flat. It is not. It's pretty verbose.
Seems like there was a local peak back where we were.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the top of this flat bit has its own
That.
topography.
Anyone else see that flicker?
Yeah.
Which one?
It seems to happen when we come off the sampling salvo.
All right, looks like it's starting to go a little bit.
Oh, that little ledge.
Can we zoom on those
Whoa.
colonies at 3 o'clock that are kind of in front?
Sure thing.
Under the
coming onto the lasers right
Are
now.
you of these
Yeah,
right
that-
here?
Yep.
The small ones?
Just take a look. The ones that are, right there,
Roger.
below the spiral coral.
Sure thing.
Just have a very distinct branching pattern. I wanted to take a closer look.
We can get a good close-up shot and we'll sit down right here. We got plenty of time.
Yep. I think they're the same bamboos we've been seeing. Struck me as a little bit
All right, Jeff, go ahead and push on in.
irregular.
Ooh.
Okay. Might actually be a different bamboo here, but still. So these are bamboo corals that are branching at the node, which would put them in a different group,
Sorry, guys.
different clade than some of the other nodal branchers that we've been internodal branchers we've been seeing. So this might be. I'll have to go back. this is one. I have to go back to the revision. This is one group that's currently undergoing revision, and because the taxonomy of the bamboo corals has been messed up for quite a long time, it's often difficult to apply a genus or a species name. Instead, we often refer to them as clades, based on certain characteristics that they share. And a clade isn't really a taxonomic rank like a genus, species, or family is. It's more just
some random group.
Yeah, a group of things. Yeah, as Chris calls it, it's a trash can designation.
Jess, is it possible to pan to the right to see if there was like a third one off to the right?
Sure thing.
That had really pronounced nodes.
There's another one of those stoloniferans. You see?
Yeah.
You see it? They're all doing different things. That's how you know that it's not the coral. It's the opportunist that's taking advantage of these empty structures. This is really impressive because you usually don't find stoloniferans doing that. You usually find things like hydroids and other fast reproducing, fouling communities on these things.
Or the zoanthids, are they fast as well?
Zoanthids, yeah, they can be. Yeah. I'm surprised to not really see very many on these past dives. There's been a few. Where it might be even a little deep for zoanthids. We're definitely too deep for the zoanthid that typically colonizes bamboo corals that's known from Hawaii, the Kulamanamana. But yeah, we would expect to see that a bit shallower.
All right, anything else we need?
Nope.
Did we get enough photos here? Do we need anything else?
Yeah, no, this looks great. Thanks.
All right.
Full way, please.
Nice little scene there.
Irigorgia.
Yeah.
Iridogorgia.
Actually, Jeff, you want to do a snap zoom here? It's a cool shot.
So pretty.
Looking for predators.
What's that little white?
It might be a little, yeah. It might be a little snail or something's on one of the branches.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Could be a gastropod or it could be a
Full way.
hermit crab or something.
Gotta get going. All right, folks.
So for anyone that just joined us recently, we are exploring a ridge feature on the north side of the Ha'aeo Seamount in the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument. And we're roughly at a depth of a little over 2,200 meters and moving in a southwestern direction on this ridge to see what the distribution of coral and sponges are. We're on the lookout for a couple choice target species that haven't quite been identified yet. We just know them from imagery. Also examining what the rocks look like. There's an interest in understanding the age of this seamount as well as the other seamounts in this region, as there's thought that they are maybe quite old compared to the age of the islands of the northwestern Hawaiian island chain. So we've been periodically collecting rock samples to help us age date the volcano, the original volcano. And we're also collecting rock samples to understand the composition of minerals that form from alteration or from precipitation from the water, and the role that microbes might be playing in those microbe-mineral interactions.
Okay.
If you have any questions for the team, please feel free to send them in the message feature on nautiluslive.org. Our crew is here for another hour and 15 minutes before the next shift comes in.
We seem to have ended up on the other
Whoa.
side of this feature here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're right. It does seem with
the way we're facing and everything.
so yeah, the orientation that maybe we're on the other side, even though the multi-beam seems to suggest that we should be in a flat area.
Yeah, whatever this local little bump is, I think we're just on the other side of it to the northwest.
Right. So if we wanted to get back to the top of it, we would what, go south? East? Southeast?
So this I think is the center of the ridge right
Yeah,
here, that
right.
line. So we're just
on the other side of it.
just on the other side. So yeah,
Got it. Yeah.
we should be able to, if I can alter course if we want to get to the top, but it's I would suspect that the top isn't going to be straight. It's going to be a bunch of these little bumps. So
Yeah, right.
well,
We're definitely seeing that on this side. There's a lot of sediment.
Yeah.
So maybe it's worth scooting along on this side for a little bit just to see what we see.
Sure.
As Steve was mentioning earlier, we often are attracted to follow the high density stuff, but it's important to know what the other spots look like too. Because sometimes there can be species on that side that are overlooked, and it's just a good indication of the overall density.
I think that's a good reminder, Beth. Sometimes we're all excited to just go where the density is.
Right. Trying to understand management and conservation of these places, it's important to know. Just because you look up one feature and you see a lot of animals, it doesn't mean that another feature is going to have the same density. So getting these perspectives of this is what it's like on the west side, this is what it's like on the east side, can help with those.
We're not just chasing coral.
I'm going to add another step to make it continuous. We'll still go 220.
Roger.
What makes it so spirally? Steve.
Do a partial zoom there.
It's a growth pattern. They start out coiled. If you see some of the younger ones, they have these very sparse coils. They actually grow from the branch, from the very tip of the colony. And as the colony gets larger, the branchlets towards the base start to fall off. And that's why that side of the colony is bare, but it just keeps growing in a coil. And then, the older branches towards the base fall off, new branches are created, and on and on.
That's all we got for that side.
Does it always
All right, full wide,
corkscrew in a counterclockwise direction?
I don't know about directionality, if that's important for different species. I know that the actual diameter of the coil is diagnostic of different species.
Okay.
So whether it's a tight coil or a very loose coil is important. And there's a few different cases. So just on this dive, we've seen a few different, at least a couple different species of Iridogorgia. The first one was Bella, Iridogorgia Bella. It has a very tight coil. It's kind of looks like squashed a little bit. It doesn't get very large, maybe 50 centimeters maximum. And then you've got these other cases, which is Magnus borealis, has very, very long stretched coils. And there's actually a different genus in this group of spiral corals called Rodan Iridogorgia, which kind of takes the spiral theme to an extreme. Imagine if you took a slinky, right, and just stretched it all the way to its maximum extent. It would actually look more wavy than coiled, and that's one characteristic of identifying that genus. It looks more wavy, yeah.
Are there any theories as to why they coil like that? Like, is it
Yeah.
to collect more particulates
Yeah.
flowing through?
I'm sure it has something to do with flow characteristics and particle capture. At least that's what I tell myself. I think, you know, if you're a coral feeding in a fast-moving current and your polyps are the size of a grain of rice, you need to use friction and turbulence dynamics to slow down the water so your little stubby tentacles can have time to capture things out of the water column. So I'm imagining if you have lots and lots of these tentacles spread over a large area in a coil, for example, you really are slowing down the water that's moving through your colony quite a bit, so that your tentacles can capture it. Another case, you know, like these gorgonians here, these bamboo corals, they use a slightly different colony morphology to accomplish much the same thing. They orient their fan across the flow, and when the flow hits that fan, it's either going to do two things. It's going to accelerate around the outside of the colony, or it's going to go through the colony at a much slower speed. And so if the water that goes through the colony is obviously going to get filtered by these tentacles, and it enhances particle capture and food delivery to the colony.
To give it some like structural flexibility as well.
Yep. Yeah, flexibility is built in. Interesting. Interesting thing about flexibility is that it's potentially an evolutionary advantage. You know, these currents on these seamounts are sometimes, well, it depends on where you are, but they're not always unidirectional all the time. There might be some variability in how currents move, even across a tidal cycle on a given day, or
Do partial there,
anything
please,
like
Jeff.
that. So it helps if the coral is flexible because it allows them to take advantage of the maximum flow conditions, maximum range of flow conditions.
I'm just going to come a little wide there, please.
Whereas if you're something like a stony coral or something, you're kind of fixed, and you don't have the
Can't really
ability
respond
to move.
to the
Yeah.
current.
I mean, you can grow in a certain direction, and that's what they often do. Sometimes you'll find that they grow in this concave shape, but yeah, they have a lot less flexibility to adjust to flow conditions. Nice. Bamboo corals. Bamboo corals and golden corals, both on this rock.
So it looks like that brittle star, is it just waving in the water, or is it actually?
Hold on there.
It's up high on the colony, so it's probably feeding in the plankton with its arms.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wide there, Jeff. Roger.
I've never actually seen a brittle star feeding on a coral colony, so we usually suspect it's not that kind of dynamic. Sea stars, however, will feed on corals frequently, but brittle stars, no.
Is that a stalked sponge there off to the right?
Oh, yeah, looks like it. Stalk sponge in a coral garden.
Oh.
We could switch over to the orientation where we were in when we started. Or just facing the, what would be,
Artist, yeah, doing a lateral
facing you,
movement.
yeah, the lateral along on this side if you want.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get
Start
less of
towards
a
like
side view.
135.
Yeah, towards that way.
Yeah, this is pretty, that's a good idea. It's a
I
nice
think
landscape.
pretty safe, yeah.
Do a partial zoom in on this giant, beautiful coral.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh.
See the base of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna come a little wide there, please, Jeff. It's better in frame. It's like I float off every time.
How the currents feel here, because it doesn't look as sedimenty in the water.
Yeah, it's all right. This is,
Yeah,
and it's more user error on my behalf.
there's tons on this whole, that whole feature. It looks like it's covered in fans.
Yeah. Very cool.
They seem to really like these outcrops. So.
Yeah. Definitely get the advantage of the current.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jake, if you want, you can do your Nat Geo shots. I'll just use the DVL.
Just gotta push that tether out of the way. Wow.
We
It
need a
looks
high
like the
flow.
base of that one that looks more kind of dead. It like that was detached from a rock at the base.
Yeah, it definitely looks dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or on its way out.
definitely. Very cool.
Station going on top there. Large sea star preying on these bamboo corals.
Up to Jess.
Oh yeah, do your thing. This is a cool feature. Do you also want to zoom in a little on Herc there?
If you're watching and you're not familiar with the operations, just to give some scale, Hercules is the vehicle that you're seeing in the Argus cam on channel 2, or the upper right of the quad, I believe. And I think it's like this, I don't know, would you say it's the size of a little smart car?
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
The corals or the vehicle?
The vehicle. I'm trying to imagine sitting inside of Hercules.
Oh.
I would say Hercules is like a little SUV.
Yeah, or a minivan.
Yeah, just imagining people in there. It's definitely taller.
It's
Like
like
a
what are those cars called, Cube or something?
Oversized golf cart.
Go
Yeah,
ahead and come wide there, please.
Heavy duty.
It's like a square VW bug.
but it's bigger than probably you would imagine if you just saw that image.
Taller.
Yeah.
That crab there, is that?
Where do you see a crab?
Oh, on the rock. It's a little bit bigger and flatter. That's the ones we've seen.
So the next move, Beth, I was thinking rather than 220, we start to go a little more southwards and cross over this.
Okay, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Like green thing on the floor. You want to see that?
See if we can
Is
get
that a
over to the
screen?
peak.
What
Oh
is
yeah,
that?
what is that?
What is
Green.
this?
Am I imagining
Oh.
things?
It's gotta be trash. Nothing's
Probably
green.
plastic.
Nothing's green.
Nothing's green.
Oh, yeah, it looks like trash bottle.
Oh,
can.
an old can
Oh,
with the pull tab, so that's how you know how old it is.
that has got to be
7
old.
Up.
7-Up.
7 Up.
This is not an advertisement.
That is
It's a
ancient.
very old can, though, you're right.
What's that got to be, the 70s or 80s?
At least.
Yeah.
Aren't
Alright,
we,
full wide,
are we
please.
asked to retrieve
No.
Are you
marine
wide on
debris
Argus?
from the monument? No.
I don't
Not
know.
recommended in our permit.
I don't know the rules. I think the monument has to be left as you find it, unless you're permitted to do something with it. Yeah.
Argus has been kiting at 240 this whole time, and we've been going. No, not so bad. 230.
Little sea star down there.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to get a little bit caught up here and then
Yep.
slow down a bit.
I'm going to put in a move of 190, 100 meters. So wherever Argus ends up, it'll probably cross cut like that, something like that.
Sure thing.
See if we can get to the top and over the other side.
Get some more resolution on the feature.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's can get a little chilly back here in the van. Could we get a quick zoom on these while we're going by them?
Sure.
Pathies.
Yeah, there are 2 coral experts in the room. All right, you can do a partial. We get them both in the shot. I think you're right. I think you're right on Pathy.
The other one a Chrysogorgia of some kind.
Steve.
Bingo.
Y'all don't even need me anymore.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, full wide, please.
I'll take my little deep sea coral boot camp on the road.
Just traveling sea coral instructor. Well, there's
It's gonna be a long road.
yeah.
Yes.
Steve's highlighted in a popular video that's been circulating. Surrounding his coral expertise.
Do we have any corrosion experts in the van?
Like, what kind of corrosion?
Well, folks are wondering, a lot of comments about how uncorroded that can looked.
I would imagine the aluminum wouldn't be too corroded. Jess?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Defer to the materials expert sitting next to me.
Like how the materials expert deferred to nothing. Yeah, I mean, I guess you would expect some discolorations on the aluminum. There was some encrusting creatures on it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I'm not
If it were a steel can, it probably would be rusty.
Yeah.
steel can would be definitely used as a home for many and fuel for most. It's actually kind of interesting. We were talking about this over dinner the other night, was the science behind the plastic linings in a lot of canned goods, because each type of food has a very different acidity. And so there's a whole industry around just engineering those linings.
Oh.
So you never really think about what's in your common everyday canned goods so that it has the same taste or doesn't cause any adverse reactions.
Yeah, like discoloration or leaching of
Metal, yeah.
metal into, well, most aluminum cans have BPA lining, or they used to. Now I think they might be on a different BP letter.
BPB.
BPB, sure.
Or C. Yeah.
It's going through the alphabet.
Yeah. Cool crust here.
Before this stainless steel water bottle craze, briefly there was SIGs, S-I-G-G, and they were aluminum bottles. And then suddenly they fell out of favor because people didn't like the fact that they had plastic lining. You know, like, but every canned good, you know, that you eat has a lining.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting different flow features here.
Yeah.
Does it seem either the current here is not great for delivering food or it's too unstable for many things to be colonizing.
Yeah. Things tend to be restricted to the largest boulders.
Something about the shape of this boulder reminds me of a dinosaur head.
Yeah. Sleepy rhinoceros, maybe.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Once you see it, that rock is gone forever.
Another update on the 7-Up can.
Mm-hmm. We have can experts that are definitely watching at all times. They'll tell us.
I think somebody must have taken a screen grab, and they have dated that
Yep.
design from between 1972 and 1977.
Oh, wow.
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 There you go.
Very cool.
It's a rare
All right.
find.
So that
That is
can is 45 to 50 years old.
Wonder how it got there, you know?
yeah.
Was it carelessly tossed off a ship in the middle of nowhere?
Oh,
Did it
Sailed there.
Did it sail? Did it float there? Sink?
it looked like someone enjoyed it. They
Yes.
had the
Yeah.
top already tapped.
One intrepid hermit crab pulled it up from 2,700 meters.
Could have
Wow.
been.
It's a very strong hermit crab.
Came from below. That's a good theory, Steve.
What's this up here?
All right.
Well, there's a lot more trash down deeper than there is up in the surface waters, I would hazard a guess.
You're really pushing this French theory.
Well, I mean, stuff goes down, right? Eventually,
yeah,
everything
you're
goes down.
You're right.
It definitely goes down. Question is whether it comes back up.
Yeah, we've seen a lot, having seen many, many hours of dives, we've seen a lot of bits of trash. Sometimes a steel drum, sometimes a plastic chair,
Plastic
Famous.
solo cup.
famously a rice cooker.
Sometimes a pump.
Oh, yeah.
A pump?
Some sort of,
Like a shoe
Sh-
pump? Or-
like a ship
Oh.
piece of gear
Yeah, okay.
Wasn't there one at ONC where there was like an octopus hiding in a
in the rice
rice cooker?
Yeah. Yeah, that's at the, oh, what site is that? It's on the way to their whale fall experiment,
Okay.
which is at the methane site, which is
Is
called
that Barclay Canyon?
Barclay Canyon. The hydrate one, Barclay Canyon hydrate, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm got that mixed up, but I think that's where it is. So if you need a rice cooker and you've got millions of dollars to spare.
When a very used rice cooker.
Yeah. Argus is starting to curve towards the south a bit.
Jess, is it possible to come up briefly
Oh, yeah, sure.
to see in Argus's view? It looks like there's something just above us. Can't really make out what it is.
Do you want me to swing my headlights, or do you just want me to?
Yeah, maybe it's just the shadows. Never mind. It's just the shadows playing tricks on me.
Sure thing.
Oh, yeah, you had me convinced too. I saw it. It looked like a white.
Yeah, it looked like
Sponge or
some white
something,
blobby thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those sandy patches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's just the shadows.
those got me before too.
I might have said this before on this watch. I can't remember, but I saw this crazy sponge. It was like a wall, and then within that wall there was like a little alcove, and there's a massive sponge sitting inside of it, like almost like you were just walking through a room and someone had a recessed bust of a general or something. And I was like, what kind of flow is getting in there?
Maybe
All
likes
the flow.
prestige. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I can stay a little bit away from the seafloor too, and we can get a better view if you like.
Sure. Yeah. That way we could kind of have a heads up of there's animals coming. But yeah, either this area doesn't get good current, or it's too unstable. Kind of Looks like that in the Argus cam, like maybe it's a little rubbly area.
Mm. Couple of boulders coming up, looks like. See them in Herc sonar. Starting to show up in camera.
Sure thing.
Sometimes when we come up in these big boulders, they have a lot of coral on them, but
Yeah,
it doesn't seem to be the case with this one.
Those worm tracks.
looks like there were some. There's some
Yeah.
stalks. Couple little ones that are successful, but
Yeah, they look pretty barren.
is that the Christmas tree coral there? Just coming out?
Yeah, no, oh, on the left side.
Yeah, on the left side. That was the little...
Yeah, it belongs to the same same group. But
what is the name of that group? So I can...
They're all black
card.
corals.
Okay.
But the Christmas tree coral, like the one that gets off the west coast, I think it's a different genus.
Okay.
I
So
have to
it's a
go
black
back and look.
coral.
I don't remember.
Oh, no worries.
I know we saw them last year, and I can't recall.
Big dead sponge there.
Yep.
And tiny and red swimming in the upper left corner there.
Oh.
Little
Jess
tiny
is like,
guy.
we will follow this.
Yeah, let's
See
go.
what it is.
Is this a shrimp? I can't tell. Probably. You want to do a really quick zoom on this guy? Little shrimp. No,
Shrimp.
okay.
It's cute watching those little swimmers.
Oh, putting on a show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey.
There is evasive maneuvers.
Double Lutz.
Nice focus.
Beautiful.
Look at, so pretty.
All right, we'll let him go. Maybe. All right, pull wide there, please.
Thanks, shrimp.
You want to come up a little there, Jake? Actually, never mind.
Big heave.
Oh, something
Oh,
swimming above us.
Looks like a
Swimming away. You can see it in Argus.
no.
It's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that shadow really well.
Mm-hmm.
The rock.
Just ends. Or is that the bottom side of a... There we go.
Yeah,
Boulder.
it's like
Side
a
of a
big
rock.
boulder.
Crinoid in there?
Oh, yeah.
Haven't seen many of them.
sad looking corals.
So someone noted earlier, Steve, that sometimes the corals seem to prefer an underhang, and I'm not sure if that's actually true. It's a little hard to see the angles here, but would that be accurate, or are we a little off?
Sometimes you might find that they prefer vertical faces. I don't think that it's really a top and bottom thing. I think it's just, is the flow good around that feature? Another factor could be the tolerance of a particular species to sediment. It may not be as much of an issue here, but certainly on continental margins where you have sediment being introduced into a system, sediment can inhibit larval settlement. And so if it's on the top side of a surface, it's going to be much more sedimented than on the side or vertical surface where it won't accumulate.
Beth, if I just zoom out here a little bit, Argus, the ship move is finishing up. Argus was going to swing a little bit more. We could continue on that path at another 50 or so meters if you want. See if we get over the crest here.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten up to the top yet.
Yeah,
So
let's do 50
see how
and
that
see if that
contour looks.
does it.
Rennie, can you zoom out there for a sec?
What's up?
On high pack.
Zoom out, yep. Flat bit, steeper.
Raj.
Primnoid?
Can we take a closer look? I don't think it is. I think it's another one of these. Well, let's see.
All right, Jeff, go ahead.
It's a Chrysogorgia. It's
-1.
another one of these Remulogorgia militaris colonies. I've been seeing them
Come a little wide there, please, Jeff.
out of the dive. Pathies.
Yeah, I would have never said Chrysogorgia. I gotta,
Yeah,
I
they
gotta study up.
There you go.
You gotta dial it in.
I don't have it dialed.
What did you say that palm frond looking one?
the one right in front.
The one behind?
Oh, that's a black coral. It's called Pathies.
The pathy's behind it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, full wide, please.
We're finally getting up to the top.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some, again, it might be deceiving. Looks like there's sponges ahead, but I don't know. That's just something else.
So Beth, we want to chase the tongue of this for a little while longer and then go to the steeper section,
Yeah, I think we Rennie, you put in a ship's move to kind of get us more to the southwest.
Yeah, that was a 50 meter, right?
Yep. See if we can get over the, we're just starting to see, there's still some more slope in Argus, so we'll see if, or in the scanning sonar, so we'll see if we can get over it, or at least to the top. And who knows? Zigzagging our way.
Yeah, I'm curious if when we get on the other side of this, if it gives back to having more coral, if it's really just a feature of which way the current predominantly moves. Oh, we definitely have a boulder here with some stuff on it.
Yeah. Boulder looks like a whale. Whoa.
Keeps going.
Oh, you can see it in Argus. Whoa.
Yeah.
Keeps going.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Wow.
This one has found an advantage. Way up in the air. Water.
It's a very tall one. You can see it in the bubble cam there.
Oh, yeah.
Full shot. Let's not take it with us.
Nice shot, though.
Jeff, did you have the studio cam broadcast for a second? No?
Yeah, probably a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Someone noted that they told us, don't look now, but there's a ghost in the chair behind us that keeps spinning.
Oh.
Oh,
It took me a second because I was like, what are they?
Yeah, I throw that up every now and then.
The comment is coming from inside the van. Jeff didn't like that one.
You know, I have to be honest. I keep having the Price is Right horn da 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 when you got the wrong coral. So there's a little sound effects track going through my head.
Ouch.
I think your microphone's up here.
Can we cue up that sound effects reel, please?
More of those
Look at
nodules
these
here.
little bombs. Yeah.
Pillows?
Yeah. These are cool. All right, I have hope that that shadow there is the top.
Okay.
That's my guess. Shadow on the mesosonar.
Roger.
Interestingly, we've lost the bamboo corals. They're all gone.
Yeah, we haven't seen those in a while.
Yep. Yeah, there's some really interesting, unusual dispersal patterns here.
They're in pockets.
It's a patchy community. Oh, spoke too soon. I don't know, that one might be a primnoid, I'm not sure.
See, I was going to guess that, but now I'm just all topsy-turvy with that Chrysogorgia that looks just like it from afar.
Is that a sponge? What is that?
Is that another one of those sponge
Yeah,
encrusted
sponge
with
stalk.
the...
Or yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look.